The visceral images of brokenness in our world aren't hard to find, especially in a world that is consumed with sex. Whether by image, relationship, trade, or in so many different heartbreaking ways, what God intended for good has been twisted, monetized, and abused. The lasting scars can be deep, and the road to healing is difficult. On that journey, you need systems, people who understand where you're coming from, and people who are committed to helping you get to where you're going. Some of that comes through therapy and counseling to heal from the trauma. Help can also be found in providing a place of stability for those that have been the victim, something that may have been lacking in the past and perhaps even contributed to going down a path of despair. That's what a real estate photography company in the US learned as they developed a way to help provide healthy livelihood to trafficking survivors in the Philippines. Called to work with those exploited and traumatized by human trafficking, Sam and Mindy started Regenesis to create living wage jobs for survivors. In partnership with Nextdoor Photos, they built a photo editing supply chain that provides next-day service and equips their employees with world-class technology skills. Let's watch a story of how entrepreneurs and investors are coming alongside one another to make a difference.
My life as a child, I can say that it's poor. We are poor.
I met a foreigner. He was saying that I can take care of you and I can give you a better life.
I was 14 years old. I was working in a bar.
He asked me, do you want to work at spa? I answered yes because we have nothing to eat.
And I didn't really know that you will go with that customers and have sex.
She was recruiting us to take nudes from us, and then she will have money from the foreigner.
I told the manager, I'm just 15. And then I was forced to do some things because of money.
But then as time goes by, he introduces me to a cyber sex, wherein I sit in front of the camera and he would ask me to do stuff while someone is on the computer.
My mother, she wants to see what kind of job. Then she noticed that I'm pregnant. And then in the... Sorry.
Then as time goes by, the foreigner guy said he would post my pictures all over Facebook, on social media, if I don't have actual sex with some strangers that I don't even know. I was 21 with my 1-year-old boy, pregnant with this foreigner's child. And it really gave me an awakening message that, hey, it's a baby girl, it's a girl. Do you want this to happen to her? So it's like, it stick to my mind that, no, I know how hard it is to have this kind of life and I don't want her to go through. Like, that's it. I don't want my children to experience what I experienced. And I don't want them to witness how my life is. I just want to have a better life. It was in the middle of the night. The foreigners sleep where I pack my things with my baby and already pregnant. And we were in the middle of the streets carrying my luggage. I went to a friend. I asked her if I could stay there just for a few days. And they took me to the shelter.
It was like any other Sunday. I go to church together with my family. We sit in the same spot, blissfully unaware that it's the start of a sequence of events that would change my family's life and the lives of the people that we employ now.
The church was doing a sermon series on social justice. And as part of that, they invited different guest speakers to share their work, and one of those was around rescuing women from sex trafficking.
What captured me was a deep appreciation of where God stands in terms of justice, how He roars out when there is injustice, and He compels us to feel the pain that He's feeling and to do something about it.
Philippines is the global epicenter for online sexual exploitation. And that's because of two main factors. One is access to, cheap internet, and the other is the ability of the population to speak English so that it's easier for them to find foreign customers. And after meeting some of the organisations involved in rescuing victims of trafficking, we soon realised that some of the aftercare components were quite lacking, particularly in regard to sustained, decent employment.
It seemed a bit convenient that once you rescue, it's mission accomplished and everything else will fall into place. I knew that one of the greatest needs that they would have would be a stable and well-paid job.
The vision, therefore, was to develop highly skilled professionals from the survivor population. I'm a family physician, and I also have a Master of Public Health. So my work involves both clinical practice and program development and management.
I was working in Deutsche Bank in the global technology and operations area, so I had been thinking about computer-based work. So a digital media outsourcing service catering to clients all over the world. And we provide long-term digital careers in a workplace designed specifically for survivors of trafficking and abuse.
Perhaps we wouldn't have done it if we knew how hard it was going to be. And as hard as it has been and some of the pain that we've carried, it doesn't compare in any way to what they've experienced and the ongoing struggles that they still have.
After those dark nightmares, I stayed in that shelter for a year. And as soon as I get out of the shelter, they invited me for an interview.
The intent from the very start was to work with NGOs and those who are operating shelters. They're providing basic housing, sanitation, education. But at a certain point, it needs to translate to work, and that's where we come in. Most of the people that we employ, day one, they have very basic literacy, numeracy.
Honestly, at that time, I have no idea what is Microsoft, what is Excel.
And then they interviewed me. I don't know even a computer.
But in my mind, they're gonna train me anyway. So I know Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and PowerPoint.
The first 5 weeks is intense, and within a short period of time, through our training program, take them to a point where they're editing photos.
Nexter Photos is the main client. They do the shoots in the US, uploading these photos into our delivery service. We deliver around 4,000 edited photos daily, making sure that there are no flash shadows, no reflection of the photographer. Everything's properly aligned. There would be sky replacements depending on the client's preference, and the professional quality of the work, and being excellent, just pursuing excellence in the things that you do. That's one of the principles that our employees pick up from Nexter Photos.
Before, I thought that I'm dumb. But now, I feel proud of myself that I can do this.
It's not a usual supplier-customer type relationship. There's an underlying depth to that, which is the social impact. And that social impact is conveyed through the metrics that we provide, but also when Nextdoor Photo employees speak to our team and experience firsthand the change in the lives of our employees, that makes a profound difference.
It's not just like we provide a job and it's all good and it's a happily ever after. When we provide a job and an income, there is a resurgence of the pressures and some of the dynamics that led to trafficking in the first place, such as abuse at home, alcoholism or mental health issues, or family members that will come back into their lives and want money. There's an enormous amount of financial pressure that they have to deal with when they start working. So we have the business, and alongside that, I have a small foundation called Unusia. So my team and I provide support and services into the workplace to help the employees be successful here and also in their personal lives. And so we are trying to create a predictable workplace so that when they come in, they can relax. So things like the relaxation exercise, we've scripted and sort of institutionalized that.
It's time for the 5-minute relaxation exercise.
In our data, we see that 40% come with still active PTSD symptoms, and many also have just general anxiety and depression when they enter the workplace.
Notice any stiffness in your neck, tensions in your head and face.
Trauma damages their ability to focus, pay attention, and the work here requires a lot of sustained attention and focus on detail.
Start to wiggle both your fingers and your toes. Open up your eyes. Wiggle your body.
And we feel like the actual work itself repairs some of the damage done to their brain or their cognitive processes. So it's like a form of prolonged exposure therapy in many ways. We expose them to incremental levels of stress whilst providing them the skills to manage that stress by using formalised training programs, and then also workplace counselling and also nursing care. We're not just trying to prevent the manifestations of trauma, we're trying to create an environment where they recover. And my increasing belief is that, you know, the workplace can and perhaps even should be the major site for recovery and reintegration.
I want my children to be proud of me. I just have to grab the chances that were given to me and take it.
So they come from a situation where they feel that there's no hope and there's not much to look forward to. But despite that, they take that first brave step to apply to this company. And then we walk this journey together.
So we can decide for ourselves what successful recovery and reintegration looks like, but ultimately they are going to be the experts in their own journey.
The first goal that I put in my mind is that 1 year from now, I will be promoted. After 1 year, anak kay nanadyo ko sa lain nga stage sa kwan sa akong ginabuhi.
Although those challenges, those memories, it's still in me because it's part of my life. But I don't lose hope. I am happy with what I am now.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are all here today to celebrate our 6th year anniversary. Let me call in Sir Sam.
6 years ago, Mindy and I could not have foreseen all of the problems, the heartaches, the stress and the challenges, right? But we could not also foresee the joy, the triumphs, the wins, and you. Each one of you have an incredible story inside of you. You see an individual that's scared and afraid, and you invite them to come into the company. And you see all of the systems and workplace structures and culture that we created. But at the end of the day, you can see them sitting at their desk, having a good chat with one of their co-workers or team leaders and smiling and laughing. And you know that they're doing better than where they were at the start. And to me, that makes it all worthwhile.
I didn't get any salary in the spa. But now I have my salary, I have my benefits. I just feel family here.
I really see God in this working place.
We know each other's stories like family because of this job. It's just I feel God in me.
And in fact, realize how important my life is, like how valuable I am.
1, 2, 3.
Human trafficking is the illegal trade in human beings through recruitment or abduction by means of force, fraud, or coercion. All of this is done for the purposes of forced labor, debt bondage, or sexual exploitation. This modern slavery is only growing, and the numbers are staggering. Nearly 40 million adults are trafficked for forced sexual exploitation, and 1 million children are trafficked for commercial sexual exploitation. Has God placed you in such a position where you can use your business or access to capital to affect real, meaningful change and create jobs for the vulnerable among us? Or maybe you can invest in companies that create jobs specifically to rescue people from the sex trade. Another helpful tool might be understanding the supply chain of the companies that you invest in. There are a number of service providers, many led by Christ followers, that are set up to help companies know more about their supply chains. On the Faith Driven Investor website, you can find a list of those resources and more. Funds that invest in underprivileged or disadvantaged segments of society are often in funds where minimum investments, liquidity, and hold times vary. So you'll want to be sure to consult your advisor as to what investments make the most sense for you. Another opportunity is to connect and partner with like-minded faith-driven investors who share a passion to solve one of these injustices. Sharpening each other through content, conversation, and diving into a community of like-minded investors that might deploy capital to solve these problems. If you're not currently connected to a group of peers and fellow believers, go to faithdriveninvestor.org to find one that fits your needs and schedule. Thank you for joining us for this episode. We'll see you next time.
Faith Driven Investor is a discipleship ministry from Faith Driven Movements, a non-profit corporation whose mission is to inspire and mobilize people to use their time, talent, and resources to impact the world around them. The materials are for informational purposes only. All investing carries risk, so be sure to consult an advisor before making any investment decisions. Hosts and guests may maintain positions in the companies and securities discussed. For all other questions, please visit faithdriveninvestor.org.